Before we start today's video, check out our merch shop, linked in the description down below. Use code Ahsoka in all caps to get $7 off your order. May the Force be with you, and enjoy the vid.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have some unfortunate news for the Star Wars Lando project into the regards of its overall process and progress that has been going on with this project overall, jumping from a show to now being claimed as a movie. We're going to go ahead, we're going to break it all down for you guys, everything that we know and everything that we're anticipating for it furthermore. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. I also quickly want to mention we do have a couple of affiliate links in the description down below from Amazon, a couple of the new Lego Star Wars sets that have been recently just released. Go ahead and use those links. It supports the channel, really helps out the channel at no extra cost from you. Thanks so much, guys. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be taking a quick read from IGN.com as an overall garnering source. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. The original director and creative writer that was attached to the Lando Star Wars show, mind you, yeah, that's still a project in development that was announced nearly 4 years ago at the 2020 Investors Day for Disney and from Lucasfilm there as well. Justin Simon says letting go of the Star Wars Lando series demanded a true grieving process, sharing some more of his own kind of personal thoughts and opinions on the progress and the process of how that kind of all went on essentially here in the last year at this point here. Lando, as I had mentioned there, has gone from being a show to being kind of an unknown thing because we just aren't ever hearing anything about it, and it honestly is discouraging because the things that we do hear about the Lando project just don't seem to be very positive, or that it's like in any kind of development or really being worked on all that much. But the Lando show that was supposed to go to Disney Plus has now apparently reportedly been turned into a movie that would detach the creative Justin Simon as the writer and director of the project. And the way that he found out, to kind of fill in the gaps, so for those of you guys that may not know, the way he found out about that was simply through sources like IGN and comicbook.com. Like, Lucasfilm didn't even have the balls to call the guy up and kind of give him those news and kind of do those updates with them. Unfortunately, it's just kind of the unfortunate way that it had kind of seemed to play out there. They didn't really want to work with him all that much. Since then, it seems that both the Glover brothers, Donald Glover and his brother, that had also both written the Atlanta show together, are now going to be working on the Lando project this time around, though however more of a movie. Justin Simon has shared his grief over Disney's decision to scrap his Star Wars Lando series in favor of turning it into a movie. IGN articles reads, Simon, who was attached to write and helm the planned Disney Plus series centered around a young Lando Calrissian, played by Donald Glover as seen in the Solo movie, told Collider.com that he found it difficult to let the project go with a recent interview, especially since it was well into development at that point in time, and that they had already laid some significant groundwork for the overall project. He says that you don't have control over whether it lives or dies, and it is truly a grieving process. He says furthermore in another quote, it was pretty developed at that point. Simon says, there was a Bible, there was concept art, there were scripts, but it just wasn't meant to be. Ending that quote right there. A Bible is like a pre-production kind of thing in the film industry, for those of you that may not be familiar, kind of laying out that conceptual art, essentially different planning, like cast and crew members essentially planning of that pre-production, development essentially. He continues on though, however, by reading, you just have to really face it. He added about the experience. It is a true grief. I've never had a child, I've never lost a child, but it's what I imagine that pain might be like. You pour so much of your heart and soul into something, but ultimately you don't have the control over whether it lives or dies, and it is true of a grieving process. Ending that quote right there. Keeping it 100, as I usually do here on the channel, that's pretty deep to really think of it that way. And I think furthermore just really signifies of how much Justin really put into the Lando project, how much he was looking forward to the Lando project, and kind of everything of that nature. And that's something that we've known from the initial reports, is that Justin Simon was hard working on the Lando show with all of his pre-production development, essentially having a pre-production Bible, having scripts, having concept art, everything of that nature, of course, to get the project off the ground and really moving. It's just on Lucasfilm's fault that they weren't necessarily there to work with him or really hold his hand necessarily to really help him guide with that and kind of hold those meetings, take the time to have those meetings with Kathleen Kennedy and all of those creatives over there as well. I would still honestly like to see him be attached to the project in some way or another, especially now seeing that the Glover brothers are now on development of it and kind of writing it and directing it, maybe even presumably from there. It would be nice to see them bring, you know, Justin in as a creative as well, to kind of take that and kind of want to work with him essentially, and kind of just bring him on board as their own essentially. I think would be a really nice thing. Maybe let him direct a little bit, as you know, something of that nature I think could really be special for him as well. It just is so sad to see it, honestly. It really shows of how involved he was with it and really looking forward to it. Justin Simine only found out about the change of the direction of the project, moving from a show to a movie with different creatives at the lead now, when the news hit the trades, and initially struggled with that discovery, but now he has gone to admit the writing was super on the wall. He ended up finding strength from the situation, as he had realized that he could take what he had learned from this experience and apply it to future projects. The filmmaker continues to read, though, however, from that article. For me, it has to be done pretty straight on, like, I am in grief. I do not feel good. I have to let myself feel those feelings, the filmmaker candidly reveals. He goes on to say that there's so much that I had experienced that I get to keep forever and take into the next project. I can't obviously take the storyline or, you know, that IP or the characters, but there's so much more that I got as a maker, and that's mine. Sorry, it's too late. You can't take that part back. Ending that quote right there. And of course, from there, about a year ago, I want to say at this point, eventually the news had broke online that Donald Glover and his brother Stephen Glover are going to be taking over the writing duties on the script, as well as turning the project now into a movie instead of a show. However, it might take some time to get it on the screen, as Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy has stated that Star Wars movies need to be James Bond-like events from now on, and more paced out essentially. Anyway, guys, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. What would you want to see with a Lando show, or movie, I guess, this time around? Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.